Alright. Alright. We are live. I think we're live. You just never know. You never know. We can't really know because I'm here and you're there. So here we go. This is a cool house I'm working on for a couple in Benton, Tennessee. And I'm excited because I've got SketchUp 2025 going, and I had to upload all of my extensions, which was a pain in the rear. But you can see I got my Valley Architects, who's really good at railings and stuff. And then of course my Medic extensions, electrical, floor, foundation, project truss, and wall. And I'm actually using this complex roof feature on the truss, Medic truss extension, and I'll show you in a second. But let me just save this as my work. What I do is I have a work scene here. I'll update that, but then I can go back to the front elevation. Oh, I got these roofs all moved around, but this goes back here. What is that? What was it? How many feet was it? Oh well, it goes like that, and then this one goes like this. I'm never prepared for a live stream. You know, if I had producers like these big wheels have, it'd be awesome. But anyway, it's got a shed roof on the back porch. Just a really classy looking house. It's got a detached garage with a hip roof, and in over here, and I'm noticing my ceiling joists that I just put in. I can see the ends of them there, and but SketchUp 2025 has this cool thing called Ambient occlusion, and what it does is it puts these little shadows in corners and stuff, and it just makes it look kind of cool. I don't know, I can't describe it. It's more realistic looking, but you can go into your style, and it's a new feature now. You come down here and you click it on or off. See, that's off. And then in combination with shadows, I'm not going to save that. I'm going to keep it. Let's see. You also have these things called environments. They really upscaled the sort of rendered look under shadows. You get that sort of classic SketchUp look, which is kind of boring. But you turn on the shadows and it gives you some light. It turns the sun on, basically. I like to think of it as it's turning the sun on, not the shadows. So you get that. Now, that's SketchUp 2024. SketchUp 2025, baby, is Ambient occlusion. There you go. And now you got this cool feature. What's neat is I used to have to go around and draw a line here to give that an accent on my elevations, but now I don't have to, because everywhere there's sort of this inside corner, even on these posts. Look at that. That's kind of cool, isn't it? And of course you can set the intensity, let's see, in the distance, sort of a radius, and maybe I've got it set too high, and then the intensity, you just have to kind of play with it based on what kind of drawing you're doing and what kind of effect you want. But you can see here sort of the inside gives you that feeling of depth, and it's pretty awesome. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. I'm working on tying these hip roofs all together. Let's go back to my work scene. This is what's neat about having these scenes up here. It's basically layer states is what it is. But what I've done is I've saved my original roof outline over here, and I'll show you how this can work. You can see where I had it automatically tying it into this roof, but I'm saving it because I exploded this one to work on it, because on these hip roofs he doesn't have ceiling joist. I'm going to fuss at him for that, and I understand why. But if I had to draw this hip roof, I would really be mad, which I've had to do before in the past. But if you go to the roof, you can edit the roof outline, and you know, you can just, you're basically just changing the outline. If I wanted to make this roof, you know, that much, oops, not going downhill, but come straight out, and then update. You know, it's just gonna change, you know, make it bigger. So the only wish I have now, let's see, let's regenerate that. There we go. So my only, let's go back to my work version, which turns off the cladding and the decking so I can see. Now I kind of understand why he doesn't, you know, he probably didn't fool with the ceiling joist, okay? Because what happens on a, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to where I had these roofs moved out of the way. So let's go back, and it'll look weird here for a second. Hopefully not too weird. There we go. That was pretty mushroom looking there for a minute, but I've learned to ignore that a little bit, because I used to freak out when I would see that. But these hip roofs are a little more complicated. They're not complicated, but if you're trying to build an extension, because once you get to a certain point, like I made these ceiling joists, right, and they go all the way across, and you really need to either line your rafters up or offset them so that there's an 1.5 inch space between them. They can't just be sort of randomly laid out on that side and this side, because if you have a roof that's small enough, like this one right here, and I'm going to show you here in a second, you know, your ceiling joist is long enough to go all the way across. So you don't want this sort of, you know, that's one thing this extension needs a little work on, is lining up the rafters properly. They either need to be lined up across from each other, in the case like this where a roof, you know, the ceiling joist would span the whole distance, or they need to have an 1.5 inch between them, so that you could go on this side on this one and that side on that one. You know what I mean? There needs to be some rhyme or reason to it. But save the day, another Medic extension is these little utilities up here: trim, extend, you know, trim member, miter cut, you know, split. So I'm gonna line these. I'm going to line these up, and what he's done is he's got these rafters, this bay of rafters in groups. Now, in order to use this trim and extend these, the group that you're extending or cutting to needs to be in the group with your rafters or whatever you're working with. So what I'm going to do for right now, I'm going to have all these things that I think I might be needing to trim to. I'm going to cut them. Then I'm going to go into this group and I'm going to paste them in place. And then I'm going to grab all these rafters. I should have moved them over in the first place. I'm going to move them. Let's see. This has got a bigger space over here, so I'm going to move them this way. And if I have to put in an extra rafter, it's okay. So in this case, I'm just going to line them up. And that's perfectly acceptable. We used to we used to line them up all the time, and you can face nail one side and then toenail the other. It's no big deal. Or you can leave them. The most popular way is to leave them offset 1.5 inches so you can face nail you can face nail both sides from the other, from opposite sides. But if you're going to go through that extent and you have joists that will reach all the way across, then you would go ahead and leave 1.5 inches in between them. But in this case, I like for my roof framing plan to look nice and organized. So when you look down at the roof framing plan, they'll all be lined up. So anyway, enough talking. Let's do some cutting. So this is really cool, and I used to do this by hand, and I was really, I don't know, I wasn't upset when I figured I could have been using this all along, but I was surprised. But anyway, so what you do is you select the side of the group, and again, these have to be groups, like the rafter has to be a group, and this valley rafter has to be a group. So you select the side you want to trim to, and you're carefully come down here and get to the end of this thing, and just touch the end of it. And you got to be careful what you're touching, because whatever you touch, it'll trim it back. Like I could even touch this rafter and it would disappear. Right? So I'm just kind of being careful where I'm touching, and that was a lot quicker than I used to have to do it. I used to have to grab the end, and I would put myself a guideline. I would grab that whole thing and then slide it down and make sure it intersected properly. So you can see how much quicker that was. And then over here I'm going to be extending. So I've got one rafter here. Oh look, that one needs to be fixed. Oh, that'll be a neat experiment where I'm just extending part of it. So we'll try this first. Let's extend the one next to trim, and we're gonna, where did I go? Oh, too much scrolling, Tony. I'm gonna touch the side of that, and I'm gonna hopefully, you can tell what you're aiming at, because see how it's that or that. That's the end of it. Okay, now I'm going to cancel that by grabbing the extension again, and I'm hoping this is going to, well, I was hoping it would extend that side, but I guess it's reading that it's already touching it. So in this case, I'll show you how I used to have to do this manually. I would put a guideline there, and then I would just grab that line and then pull it up. Hit my shift key to lock it on that axis, and then grab that corner right there to reference it to. So you can see that took a little more time than just let's see, is that all of them? Oh, these. Now I'm hoping these will extend, because they haven't, none of it's touching. So I'm going to go out of that, and I'm going to select extend, and then I'm going to get around here. I'm going to turn myself around so I can see the end, and then, oh, come on, there we go, that one did it. What's wrong with this one? Come on, brother, get over there. Well, at least I only have to mess. Maybe it's this compound cut here. That was a rafter tail hanging out there, and this has got a compound cut on it. So we shall overcome. We shall come in here, get the best angle of attack, put ourselves an extension on there. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It's probably going to act weird. I may not worry about it. There we just delete the guideline. That's good. Oh, this one. Now this one will extend. I'm predicting because it's just a simple cut. So we're going to select that face, and then I'm going to get around here where I can see the end of it. There we go. That a baby. That a baby. And so, you know, that wasn't too hard with those tools to do. Now I can just, oh, this was kind of cool. I'm going to cheat and grab one of these and bring it over. Then let's see here. This just gets a little busy over here. So, I should have grabbed the bottom of it. Let's put it right here. And now we can, this is kind of cool. Let's see, am I up against it? Yeah. What you can do is, well, okay, I'll show you what it does. This is not going to be the end result, but I can trim it back to there by just going out here. See, now it trimmed the, it trimmed it at that entire angle. I knew there was a space in there. What's going on there? Huh. That's weird. So what I'll have to do in this case is just come and, oops, I need to go into the group. Chop this off right here. No big deal. No biggie. I'm kind of weirded out how this let's see if it does the same thing on the next rafter. I may have got my ceiling joist twisted accidentally. It's been known to happen. Okay, so that's up against it. Is that down? Yeah. Let's go over here. See if there's a space. Oh no, it's the rafter. So this, sorry about the scrolling. If you scroll, if you're scrolling into infinity, it goes real fast. So the rafter, the extension somehow got this rafter kind of torqued because of this. I guess maybe because of or maybe I did it. I think we're going to cheat here and just, yeah, don't tell anybody. I'm going to cheat and put this against it. I mean, this is what we would do in real life, so I don't see any problems really. We would grab this and just put it over there. And drywall guy, be damned. So there we go. So let's grab this and we will go, how many times are we going to go? We're going to go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if we can get 10. I'm having a hard time. There we go. Times 10. I just copied. What in the world is going on here, boys and girls? Is spacing right? Not not sure how I could be gaining every time. Okay, we'll just use math this time. We'll grab it and we'll go copy 16 times 10. Yeah, I don't know. It's the way well, you can see though, if I went 16, you see, the way to solve this is I'm just going to have to do it one at a time. Let's see, up here. So, because I don't want to try to figure this out right now, to be honest with you. I just want to get something done. Sometimes you just want to get something done, you know. Sometimes, guess I could get closer so I could see. Okay, so these rafters are twisted. These rafters are not straight. So I have a new complaint. Alright. Because I'm lining it up with the top edge and it's not alright, we're not gonna complain. We're not gonna complain. We're just gonna deal with it. Because what it really needs to do is be against the bottom of this rafter. So if I come here, this is actually more like real framing. Because in real life, framing is not perfect, you know. But you know, we want to draw it perfect with the expectation that we get close to perfect, right? And at some point, we just want to meet the intent. This one will just go. Well, it won't go. Alright, so that's enough time spent on that. I think what I wanted to really show you was some more of this trimming and cutting. One thing I have to do is deal with this dormer. And this is going to be a place where the cutting comes in handy. So what I have to do is I have to cut out these ceiling joists that I've put in here. Oops. And I quit getting below the subfloor. It's kind of hard to get inside here and do this. But what I'm trying to do is figure out where, what I want to do is I need to double first of all, I need to turn the cladding off because all the framing needs to touch. See if anybody's watching. Nope. It's okay. I'm busy. Wall cladding. Turn that off. Oops. Turn the framing back on. What happened to my framing? Is it in the wrong layer? Yup. Let me go in here. is this? Is that the whole dormer? Yep. I can't believe I put this whole thing accidentally in. I'm pretty sure I just grabbed a bunch of stuff. And I don't think I'm getting it all. I'm just grabbing. Let's where my wall framing. There we go. And let's turn it off so we'll know when it goes off. There's our. I'm just going to put all that in wall framing for right now, just so I can turn off. That should be sheeting. Yep. So why was that going off? Oh, I know what's wrong here. That needs to be exploded. Yeah. Because now everything, yeah. I see what I did. Oopsie. Alright, so we're just going to turn the framing back on. Turn the cladding off. And the windows. Window. Sheeting. Trim. Oops, not trimmer, trim. And that's good for now. Turn the seal back on. And turn king studs on. Yeah, that'll do it for now. So what I gotta do is I gotta put in a header here. Let's go back into the roofing or the framing, roof framing. So what needs to happen is I need to put a double right here on each side of the dormer. I'll have to turn shadows off while I'm doing this. Does that help? Not really. Get that locked and then right there. So now I have a double rafter on each side of the dormer. Now I need to put a beam, a header under that. This gets a little wacky right here because we're on top of the ceiling joist. So I think that's pretty cool though, because what I can do is what really needs to happen is a you could probably share the load with the roof In other words, you're going to have these. You're going to have these double rafters, which will bring the load down to here, right, on each side. But we need something under our wall. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that, whether it goes on top of the, can't go on top of the ceiling joist because I have to cut the ceiling joist out. So where it may be that it looks like the ceiling joist could hold it up, they can't. The ceiling joists have to actually stop too. So what we need is a beam that basically, we're gonna make it well, we're gonna show it as wide as the wall, but it won't actually necessarily be. Let's just do something even if it's wrong, right? Okay, so we're going to run that into there. I'm going to make this a group. I don't think I got that exactly the right size. I think it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Well, it's going to have to be as wide as the wall so that the drywall works out. So this needs to be 9 1/4. So we'll drop it down 1/4 once we get this over here. So that'll go there. But if the rafters are going to carry the load, that means it has to be up in the plane of the rafters. Get this down 1/4. It comes all the way over to here. This is probably just going to be 3 LVLs, even though it wouldn't be required to be 3 LVLs necessarily to carry the load, but we just need something to and then we're going to need some way to header this off. Let's see. Let's draw us one ceiling joist to see where this is going. I picked a heck of a roof framing job to let's get our axis locked. There we go, we're on the green axis. So for now, we're just going to come over here. Kind of wild. And what would that be? Let's see. We'll just make it a 2 to 6 for now. See where that works out. That works out okay. We can change it before we do a bunch of them. We can make it whatever we want it to be. Right now I just need something to show me group where my ceiling plane is hitting. because right there is where we're going to chop it out. And header off these rafters, coming all the way back to these doubles again. Well, I got pretty close. What it is it's this. It's where this meets that. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. No, it's where it meets the bottom of it. Yeah. Where it meets the bottom of it. And really the only way to figure that out necessarily is to go under here. Well, we can zoom in and get it close. It's pretty good. So then I would need vertical. This would be an LVL2 here. Let's see, let's get this. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna draw this. That'd be 9 1/4. It'd be a 9 1/4 LVL. Like that. 1.75. Go back down. Oh, it just occurred to me. Yeah, now we gotta go back to where this is an orchestra, man. It's an orchestra. That'll be a group. We gotta go back to where this hits the bottom of that. That's what it is. You keep drawing and you'll eventually get there. Yeah, because what you want this ceiling to come down, and that good. We're going to call it good. And then this comes back. To there. And then, where did I go? I jumped out here. Okay, so then there'll be 2 of those. Let's make let's see if we have well, we can replace it. We can replace them later. Let's make this a component. And that way I only have to edit one of them. Now now you see we're getting a little more complex here, where we have to get both of these. Let's see, if we use an LVL, would we have to header off? Yeah, we better use 2 of them. So now we got to go back to there. That's not perfect, but that is. See if I can grab the end of this. Yep, the push pull tool. Got her there. The reason I made this as a component is so I can go in and I can just trade it out for LVLs later. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how we're doing this. Let's see, for now I can oops, grab the end of it. What is going on here? Oh, I accidentally. What is going on? Oh, I thought I was editing that one. I was editing that one, the other one. Okay. Now what I thought I was going to do was come over to here. But I've got this I realize now I can't make it as tall as I wanted to. This whole thing's going to have to go down to there. Like that. And I remember that's a pretty common thing. But when you're push-pull and you really want to stay away from selecting a surface, you want to click the push-pull tool and then select, so you can toggle back and forth between the ends and the top. And I'm not sure exactly. Oops. Keep grabbing the wrong end. And I haven't used the split tool to because I need to split these rafters from here. I think if I can just split them though, set the split. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh wait. What does that mean? What does that mean? Maybe I'm using it. Oops. Oops. Maybe what it means is you can select this side. I haven't used the split tool that much. And then pick another surface like here. Wait, okay, so all this stuff has to be in the same group. Okay, so I remember that. So I gotta take this and that thing, cut it out. Cut it out, Tony. See, all these rafters on this side are in the same group. So paste it in place. Now I think I can do it. So if I pick this, and what does it say down there at the bottom? Split tool. Click another entity you wish to split. Does that mean it's cutting it at the end? I don't know what it's doing, man. Now, does that mean if I pick this, trim, and I want to trim them back to there? Wait a minute. I'm confused, man. This is, I want to trim to here. I want to trim this side, not. Then does that mean I can hit the end of this? Oh, look. Those were those? I don't understand, man. So, is that a component? No. Alright, let's read the directions. If I hit split, click splitting plane. Okay. Click entity you want to split. Alright. What if I don't, what if I just want to, it's not split, man. Okay. There is a one way to do this, I think. If I make all these components, then I'll just have to just customize one. Wait a minute. I've been on SketchUp for 16 years and I'm confused. Okay, I need to explode this. What I need to do is make this a component, okay? Then copy it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Okay. There we go. Now I can just edit one of these. I can draw a line on this side. And I can go up here. This is what I thought the split tool was supposed to be doing. And if I could just click on that rotate tool, can I do it? Yeah, do that. Oh shoot, it's not disappearing. Okay. Looks like I can just delete that. Okay. Alright, so that worked. There. Now, that worked pretty good. You just get rid of the, what's that line? Hope that didn't mess up anything. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, that's good. So all the rafters are clipped out now. Probably would have been helpful if I had made this hip roof right here a group. Is it a group? And turned it off. Well, shoot, it's not a group. Alright. So, but anyway, so now we can put our ceiling joist in. Okay, so let's make them 2x8, which means we'll bring them up 2 inches. Okay, And we'll push it over to the rafter. Probably can get by with 2x6s there. And we'll trim this back. That's neat. I was able to nip off that little edge. And we'll see where we can, how many we can get in here. Let's see, what am I doing? Yeah, that's the ceiling. Okay. Hello? Is it time to renew my life insurance? My phone was ringing, but nobody's home. Is anybody out there? Can we get another one underneath that hip rafter? We're going to fake it like we can. Well, no, those will, that's right, we'll have a little joist going that way. That's the fun part about hip roofs. Now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So let's do, we'll copy 1, copy, click, asterisk times 5. We can do something automated in an automated manner. So once you go in here now when we cut out the we're going to cut out the ceiling joist, but we're going to build a little wall or something down to here. But we're getting there. Let's go ahead and pop up our, I think I'm just going to take these studs out and fill that up with plates. Is that 4.5? Oh man. You know what we can do though? We can say that that's 3. We can cheat that. And we can just bring this bottom plate up. And then we can, that works out pretty good. And then I can just delete these. Oops. What did that do? Oh, that's the, yeah, I gotta do it from up here. That one, I need to explode these groups. That's what I need to do so I can work with them. It's time to explode, baby. So I need to delete this one, that. There's an extra one in there. Looks like there's another extra one. Oh, I gotta fix that. But what I'm gonna do first is just pull them all up to here, and then I'll fix that later. I'm trying to do the big stuff in this video just to demonstrate. Oops. To the subfloor. So I'm using the trim tool now to trim all these up to that plate. So I selected the, see there was some extra ones in that batch too. What I had to do was, there was no window in the window extension, so I had to put 3 individual windows together. And it'll be 2 2x4s in between each one of them. So I'm going to fix that. But now you can see that's a neat little wall. What did we do though? Oh, I deleted the stud on the end. Which would actually be like a corner. So you'd have that and then that. And this would be like that to meet the wall coming the other direction. And since it's so short, you don't need all the blocking you would normally have. So that's that. And then now I got to cut out these ceiling joists so we can get the light down here in the living room. Fun, fun, fun. Anybody commenting yet? Not yet. Trying to decide what it's going to look like if we make the, what if we were to come down, instead of coming straight down, we came down at the pitch of the roof in an opposite direction like that. Would that be cool? That means we'd be coming, does that mean we'd be at a 90-degree angle? Let's see, what does that mean? If we had a line, we went 12 and 6. I think 12 and 6, that looks weird. Gets where I can see better. That's 12 and 6. So then if we that's going to be too far, I think. Or do we pick a point in the living room and come to it? Like I hate to come just straight down, because when you walk in the front door, you know what, you want to be able to kind of see it. Huh. So that would be the interesting thing to do, is where could you see it? If you were, where would it be if I just drew a line right there? How far back is that? Of course, I don't know how, we got to consider lighting too. Where's that line I drew? Right there. I may have to meet with them to figure this one out. If I can get out of this freaking jungle of framing, good Lord. Where's that line? Right there. So what would that do though? If you're going to do that, what you would want to do is you would want this to be I have a feeling this is going to have to be, because see, that's far enough back to where you could almost vault it from here, from this wall. Like I was saying at this opposite, is that cockeyed? No. Like I was saying, if this was, if you did the same angle as the roof, and you went over here, where would that put it? Because I can inference this. A magenta line means that I'm but it would kind of mess up your ability to yeah, you'd basically be vaulting it all the way back to that wall. And get rid of this line. So I think it's either that or, and that would be kind of cool if you're sitting in here. You could keep below on the same level. And then, so yeah, imagine that ceiling vaulting up this way like these rafters towards that point right there, so that when you come in the door, nothing is blocking the view of the, that's all open in there, which means the ceiling joist will just come out to there. So what I might do is just get rid of this thing and go ahead and cut them back. And then if they don't like it, I can just extend. I wish these rafters were wood color. Something happened. I was playing around with the styles on the ambient occlusion, and I messed that up. So it would basically be these joists right here. So if I made this a component, I got rid of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. See if I can get to where I can work on it here. So it's really this beam thing, but it's a beam wall combination, needs to come down to the bottom like that. So it's probably some LVLs with some framing. How tall is that? Yeah, 15 inches, almost 16 inches. Unless you just wanted to get a 16-inch LVL, you know, 3 16-inch LVLs, that would be an overkill. But that would fill up the space you were trying to fill up. I'm trying to get out of that. There we go. So this is my component, right? Yeah, edit component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it from here. Go over here. Pencil. Why it's not cutting out, I don't know. Sometimes when you do the push-pull, it will clip it out, and sometimes it won't. That's that. That's correct, Bob. So I'm going to put 8 of them back in. And then I'll only have to edit. What is that doing? Yeah, okay. I'll only have to edit. And that's why I put that. Oh man. That's why I put that header across that, made that a cased opening. So I'd have a header across there to stop my ceiling joist on if I wanted to. So now what we're going to do is put 8 of these back in. Times 8. There we go. And now, I think what I'm going to do is do, so if you come in the front door, I need to fix this roof. Yeah, I mean, if you're coming in, if I'm, let's see, where's my head height? There we go. I can already see, yeah, I can already see, well, that was the bottom of the header. But if I'm walking in, now that whole thing is opened up, which is pretty awesome. And probably, but you'd want a ceiling, you might want that just to be flat all the way across. I'm trying to get to where I can see, dang it. What you might want to do, yeah, you might want to just frame this straight across and then straight down. Then you could hang, you know, some kind of pendant in there. But if you slope the ceiling down right here, it's going to be kind of weird. So I think what I'm going to recommend is that this just gets framed all the way around and flat. So that basically these joists would theoretically continue. But you have to have this here to, and what we've done in the past is when we have these valleys coming down like this, we would how would we do that? We would trim off this last little part. In other words, this would be up. Then we'd literally take a sawzall or something and let's see, let's make this one unique. We would trim off, you'd basically have a line back here that was behind this valley like that, and you just whack it off with the, yeah, sometimes you just gotta do butchery like that. so it doesn't interfere. What you would do though, it wouldn't be that drastic because, yeah, it would, see, you'd have to get it out of the way of the valley, you know, but no big deal, no biggie. The main thing is that it has to be, you know, a couple of LVLs hefty enough to cover, to intersect with these, and these would need to be 2 LVLs too. When I get ready to start coloring everything, I'll find my wood, my beam. I'll probably replace these with this tool that he has. Beam, draw, beam. You know, it's a beam drawer. And so what I would do is edit this and make it a structural composite lumber update, and I would steal that and then boom. Oops, not that. That doesn't look like LVL. Anyway, I'd figure out what else have we got here? Oh, glue lamp, is that what he's calling it? LVL? No. He didn't have LVL in here? What is going on? Oh, micro lamp LVL, timber strand. That looks more like it. Why does that one keep? What in the world? So I would just, you know, whatever the flavor is. Oh, I see. That's a group. Okay, I get it. And then these two. That's not the right hatch, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. These would be colored differently. That would be, so when they show up on the framing plan, they'll look different. Right. And then what you'd have to do is, so these are these, nope. We would bring these over. Get it on a axis and lock it. And again, you know, this has to be pretty hefty because it's carrying those rafters and these ceiling joists and part of the weight of the, so that didn't work out exactly the way I'd like it to, but what would I have to do to line those up? More than I want to do right now. So what I'll have is And what's interesting is we would have collar ties anyway, so these will just be like a lower version of a collar tie. If I can get in here where I can see. But see, these need to be against these rafters. Yeah, because they're going to need to be, well, I want them to be. So let's lock our axes and jump out here into hyperspace. And what we're going to do is extend this joist to here. There we go. And that'll serve, those will serve as my get one more. My collar ties for that section. Oops, I think I missed. I think I jumped. Yeah, I jumped a little bit there. We got one more. And then you'll have see so what that'll do is that'll allow you down here to put any kind of lighting up there you want, like a pendant in the middle, and then this will get all walled off all the way around. But you can see how valuable having a model of this is, because it can get kind of complicated. And so what I would probably do is draw myself a bottom plate to go all the way around. Let's see. So what we have is really a plate up here. Let's see, what's that? And then we want to go 3.5 by 1.5. Make ourselves a top plate, and we'll bring that out. Let's get here. We'll back up where we can see. You'll see how this starts to form. So that plate will come all the way to the back of this wall right here. There. Make that a group, and then we'll make ourselves another one. Well, two more. Because the next one will come down on the plate. funny because some of this stuff you just kind of start to realize as you go along what you need to do. Although I think what I would rather do is set a ceiling joist right there. And so the bottom plate would sit on top of that, because my other walls are going to be sitting on top of the plate, the ceiling joist I mean. So that would be right there. Yeah, you can see this wall coming this way is going to be sitting on top. So if I take all of this, I can get to where I can see the dang things. And this, and I copy, rotate, Roger. I'm going to have to type in 90. There we go. This is going to tell me where my border wall is. I can just fill in studs. Where am I going here? I'm going all the way over there. So I need to do this side. Exactly get the right angle here. Oh yeah, I did. Oops. What am I into now? Is that right? Yeah, there. Not sure how I keep getting under that roof. That's weird. It's weird. So then I should have plates coming across there, across here, and then all I have to do is cut these back. Let's see, I want this one, because this one will be sitting on top of a joist, and I want this one to come back on the other side of it. Oops. Oh yeah, there we go. Like that. And then these do the same. That. And that forms the basis. So now all we gotta do is put our studs in. If I could somehow just quit getting inside stuff. Where am I now? Out in the middle of the galaxy? Holy cow. How is that possibly doing that? It just, I have freaked out SketchUp. It doesn't even know what to think about all this. Okay, now I can see. I want to go from there to here and pull that out 1.5. And let's make this a group. We're going to make this Should we make it a component? Let's do that in case we have to make the wall a different height or something. And then I'm gonna grab this. I'm tired of this, all this ugly. And we're gonna go. What are we gonna guess here? 12 studs. 16 times 12. Well, 16 times 12. There we go. Oh, you just can't. Oh, my goodness. I wish there was. This is one thing SketchUp really, honestly, is ridiculous. If I accidentally click over here in infinity, that doesn't mean I want to scroll to infinity backwards or frontwards. Okay, SketchUp? Jesus. Well, look at that. I got close about that. At least I can be happy about that. And we'll just put ourselves a little corner in here, just to be technical. We'll make these a nice wood color. The grain's going the wrong way though. You know, he has a grain. See this vertical grain? He's got one that's horizontal. You know, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, baby. I forgot how wide my dormer was, so I'm gonna have to really guess on the studs on this one. $90. Got our little inside corner there. Was it 11 feet? So that would be about 16 times 9. What did we do? Did we get close? That's the fun part of this. Is just guessing about stuff. See how close you get. Well, see, Artisan Tony is good. He's good. He's a good man. The stud I needed is right there. Let's see. Oh, that actually comes to here, doesn't it? Now what I can do is I can copy. Oh, no. Keep going. Right there. Now I can copy my other wall over there and bring it over here. Might as well go ahead and make these the wrong way thing too. It'll be right on the bottom though, see? She's going to be excited. She has no idea. Hannah has no idea this is what this is going to look like. She's going to be like, oh my God. It's like the sarcophagus of the pyramids. And I'll say, yeah, there's like a coils going down in the ground 12 kilometers under your house. And she'll be like, what kind of drugs are you on? I'm like the same ones UFO Twitter is on. Just kidding. Now we're gonna come in here and hopefully rotate around, which didn't rotate very well. I need to pick a better rotation point. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna take, we want this side of the wall over there so it's easier for me to, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to grab my finger tool. There we go, baby. Now let's see what she looks like down here. Let's turn off the door, because when you're trying to go through the glass, it slows you down. What happened to my dang? Waldo. We go walking through the front door. Let's get rid of this. And we got this nice big open thing with a dormer comes through. Isn't that cool? So then what we would have is this. Let's see. Now this one would starting to wonder what's going to hold up this end. This could get funky right here. But this thing really needs to come. This needs to come somewhere where I can hit some LVLs going this way. So whatever these are, we'd have two. Funky. And all this really is caused by the fact that I couldn't run the dormer out to the wall, which I wish now I'm having second thoughts about. What is this rafter? Oh wait, this would have to come over. Well, yeah, so you'd have to have I guess the way we did it on the other side was I mean, you could possibly do it like this, where this contractor's gonna be mad no matter what I do. You could do that and then set the two rafters beside, on top of that. And then this could come back. That's really what needs to happen, because that cleans it all up. Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have to just kind of agree to that, because I'm going to draw it that way, and he can fuss. He can fuss if he wants to. He can leave this world behind. And if you don't want to dance. What is that? Oh, those are going down into the... That's weird. Oh, that's where I chopped them off. So this would have gone first. The bottom one would go across and sit on that. And that wall over there sits on top of the load-bearing wall below. I think that's pretty logical, which is what we do. We don't do illogical. And this comes back to there. See, originally I had the dormer sitting out here over this wall, but what happened is this roof right here got in the way. I think I moved this out 20 feet. How far? Yeah, 20 feet. See? If you had this, why was that again? This right? Is this the right pitch? I don't remember that condition. I remember that the roof had to be, the dormer had to be pushed back for some reason. But it's not looking that way now. Well, I'll be dang. Did I just go through all this trouble for nothing? I mean, I'm still going to have it open. I'm still going to have all this wall around the sides. Just to make it all open. That'll be kind of cool. But I think I can move that dormer out. And that would just become the wall again like I had it before, and it would get pushed out. Did I change the pitch on this roof to where it didn't matter? Is that what I did? Where am I? bet you, I know what happened. I made these windows shorter, which means that can come out. Dang. I think I'm going to change that. But I think the smart thing to do would be to show her first and see how she wants to do all of this, and then decide how that's done. Well, let me show you how I cut these. Any comments? No comments. What is wrong with you people? So let me show you how I cut these out. These rafter tails, where this porch is, these rafter tails have to be cut out. Okay? So an easy way to do that is, first of all, turn off the fascia and soffit. What is it? What layers you got this in? Oh, I see. He doesn't separate the, so it would be just the framing. Okay. So I need to cut these rafters. I need to cut these tails off from here. So you get me a vertical line. From there, so what I do is I put me, it should be back here too. Back, that may be the mistake I made earlier. I didn't push that line back. This needs to go back. There's my axis. There it is. Green axis. Back to there. What is that? Oh, the sheeting's turned off. That's what it is. And delete this one. And we're going to draw some little plane here. A cutting plane. This is a neat trick. We just come up any old height and come over here. Get your axis properly dialed in. Select that point. Then go down to the wall on the blue axis. And go back over here. Excuse me. And you will have yourself a plane. And you're going to make a group out of a block, a group. Because you can only trim and you can only use these tools up here with groups. Okay, so what we want to do is trim this off. So we want to select this face. Now just make sure you hit the tail of each one of these. Don't grab the siding because it'll trim anything that you select, not just these rafter tails. And I have made this mistake before of accidentally trimming things and not know it, and later get freaked out by trying to figure out what happened to what I accidentally trimmed. That's why I'm trying to be deliberate. Make sure my cursor, my little thing stops right there on the end. See how it wants to default to something? Well, you don't want that. Alright, we're going to get rid of the plane now because we don't need it anymore, and that was a lot easier than I used to have to do. So now we're going to get rid of some of the junk on this thing. I'm going to explode. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's still a complex roof, so I'm going to explode it, but then I'm going to make a group out of it. I'm going to go into the group and get rid of this thing and this thing. Wait a minute, did I get rid of the soffit? Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. What did I mean to do? I'm trying to get the, let me turn off the drywall. Well, it's off. What am I getting here? Should say roof hidden, yeah. But I'm not. Where's the soffit? Oh, I turned off the soffit. Okay. Alright. Well, we're not freaking out yet. What does that say? Roof hidden. Roof outline. Okay. Now I just want the... That's all I want, because the soffit will come back on when I turn it back on. Oop, what is that? Okay, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to cut out this soffit. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Let's go down to here. Because that'll get in the way of the ceiling below or on the porch. Oops. What is this now? That's right. And then this piece of soffit here. All this, I don't know what I did, but I messed up the colors of all these things, and now I'm having a hard time seeing. I think that got that. Maybe not. We'll find out here in just a second. I should be able to select that right there. No, I didn't get it. See this turn? Son of a gun. I think that worked, except that this one needs some work. It needs to be divided too better. There we go. Yep, got it. Now, I chopped out the soffit and the fascia. So this soffit will remain, and everything in the middle will be chopped out. Now, we can take this Move it back over. Is it 20 feet? Yeah, just have to figure out how we're going to do this. Exactly. It probably meant I need to put the ceiling joist on. What time is it? Oops, gotta go. Well, I don't know if you learned anything during this or not, but all this time, I guess the main thing is that all this time spent modeling, you know, I mean, if the contractor calls me now, this house is too far away for me to be the contractor. It's about an hour's drive. It's getting a little bit too far for me. Really more like an hour and a half each way. So you're looking at 3 hours of driving time each day. But so there's going to be another contractor involved. But I'll have all this stuff in my head by the time he starts, or before he starts, and if he calls with questions, I'll be able to answer them quickly. Just because these images have been burned into my brain, and that happens through modeling. So pretty awesome tool. And again, this is SketchUp 2025, and with my extensions here from Medic and Valley Architects. These are both great extensions, and they make things a lot easier. It's funny, these tools right here are just like little aside tools on these other, I think it's somewhere in one of these tools, and yeah, and they're just little random utilities, and I use them. Even you can just use them outside of his extension, any kind of group. Let's turn the windows back on and the doors. So she's looking good. She's looking good. And they really wanted this hip roof. It's a little extra work. It's a good bit extra work. But it's just a classic. It's a classic look. I think I'm brave enough now where I can just get rid of this thing. Sometimes I'll leave the original unexploded hip roof or whatever, complex roof, so I can use parts out of it if I need to. But feel confident now. Alright, well thanks for watching, and if you need any help with your project, you can reach me at atdrafting.com. Thank you.